Now, London's animal charity SPANA, the Society for the Protection of Animals Abroad, is celebrating its 100-year anniversary today. Now, it's helped generations of working animals during the past century all around the world in vulnerable communities across Africa, Asia, the Middle East and Latin America. Now, last year alone, they supported around 300,000 animals in need of care. Well, James has been finding out more.
I should start with, saying that this is a tribute to a legacy of two incredible British women who a mother and daughter team, Kate and Nina Hassali, who went on their travels more than 100 years ago. And they were in North Africa and saw the incredible need for working animals and decided that actually it was too compelling for them not to do anything. And so on the 2nd of October 1923 in London, they set up SPANA. Globally, we treat animals, donkeys, horses, mules, oxen, camels, elephants, buffalo. And then we're also training owners and animal health workers. And ultimately what we're doing now is really future-proofing working animal welfare by teaching the next generation. So young minds that are open and receptive. So we work with schools and out-of-school clubs to influence future owners, but also future policymakers to ensure that ultimately what we can do is transform working animal welfare.
I mean, 100 years is an incredibly long time, but if you could pinpoint some of the achievements that make you most proud to be fronting this organisation in terms of the things you've done across the world to try and make things better, not just for the animals, but the communities that rely so heavily upon them.
Even in the depth of the Second World War, we continue to work and support working animals. And I think that's a testimony to the tenacity and commitment of Kate and Nina at that time. So that takes it right back. And I think that's actually the foundations on which this organisation continues to work. So more recently, I travelled to Morocco and supported our team there to respond to the horrendous earthquake that struck in the Atlas Mountains. And there we were rescuing working animals, and all animals actually, because it was critical to save lives at that time. And subsequent to that, now what we're doing is looking at a recovery model, because those working donkeys and mules in particular are the ones that are actually going into the hard to reach areas, providing emergency supplies for communities that are completely cut off. And obviously our role there is to ensure that their welfare is good and to also ensure that they have enough food, because at the moment obviously very little is reaching those locations.
You mentioned Morocco there and the tragedy we've seen. These kind of things are only going to get worse, perhaps, and charities like yours are going to be relied on more and more as climate change intensifies. Looking towards the future and how you want to keep growing and adapting to the kind of world we're going to live in, how do you see that?
I think you're absolutely right, James. I mean, the situation is becoming more perilous for working animals. I think, not just climate change is pretty horrendous with regards to, droughts and all the impact that the climate change is having. Also the environment and the levels of issues that we're seeing now with pollution and growing poverty levels. I mean, it's a huge impact on working animal welfare, and we're seeing, in Mali, our teams are constantly dealing with animals with colic and other issues, having eaten, on rubbish dumps, and it's a whole load of plastic. So, there's a massive shift that needs to continue to happen and support. And really it's about raising awareness and increasing knowledge bases, influencing governments, and continuing to work not just SPANA on our own, but with as many partners as possible to ensure that actually, working animals have a real voice and have a chance to have their welfare recognised and also transformed.
And that was the Society for the Protection of Animals Abroad on their 100th anniversary.